Now we're live. Okay. Hold on. Yeah, we're live. Yeah, we're live.
Dopetown McBanana Pants.
I don't know what you're saying, but you're speaking something, I guess.
He says words, but they're just words.
You know, have you ever thought about words? It's like, what are words if not sounds that we just create? That just us weird, hairless monkeys create to express things. Like,
I mean, to like a fucking gorilla, it just sounds like nonsense, you know? So, yeah.
Because we're guys, bro.
Have you ever seen a Spider-Man fan talk?
Yeah,
no, that's
what a gorilla hears. Is like what a Spider-Man fan is saying is like what a fucking gorilla hears when humans talk.
Well,
oh, I hate
just
Spider-Man
sounds.
fans. It's just words. Sounds. They don't know what they need. It's just Spider-Man.
Marriage.
Peter being happy.
Mayday.
And then Alex is over here just eating. We're making weird noises and Alex is just eating.
Pork rinds, baby.
Pork rinds.
That is the vibe of Clubhouse, if I think about it. It's basically just two people creating comedy scenarios, and then Alex is reacting to those comedy scenarios. That's kind of the entire point, if you think about it.
Exactly. So I'm a comedian? Like, fuck yes.
Yeah, we're both comedians.
We're really bad comedians, but we're comedians.
I even pitched a stand-up comedy thing. You probably will see it in 2020, I don't know.
Yeah.
2065, we just all fucking
2065. A 63-year-old dude is like, hey guys, do you ever want to hear about the police? And then it's just...
We're regaling our children about the wonderful time that was Jason Aaron's Avengers. Like, Grandpa, we get it, it was bad, but there's other Avengers that you can shit on. No!
Yeah, no, I'm just imagine me and my grandkids. Hey, grandkids, do you want to hear about Trial of Magneto? But Xavier, this is the third time we talked about this. No, so there was like this trailer. It was really good because the art was good. Then the story was shit because Wanda did this. Thunderbird was resurrected, so now Uncle Ben doesn't have a buddy in heaven, and if you're taking the pills, Grandpa.
Exactly.
No, you're asking.
So let's just start off by saying that we're not going to talk about the fucking Spider-Man book, but we will talk about the fallout of the book that's been happening the last couple weeks. We're not going to touch the book.
Why? Every time I swear that I'll be not talking about Spider-Man for a year of my life. No, they have to do something. Why?
Exactly. I think that's what we need to start with is the fact that it was probably the funniest thing that happened last week when someone leaked the panel.
What?
The fucking panel gets leaked, and Marvel is like, they acknowledged that the panel happened. They basically said that, yeah, Miss Marvel's dead. Not much you bitches can do about it. She's dead, but please don't look at the panel. It's big spoilers. And the entire tweet is just people spoiling the fucking book. And the thing saying, please don't look at the spoilers.
I can't do funny predictions.
The fact our predictions are long sucks. I'm just gonna say that.
My prediction was that Miss Marvel was going to die by slipping on a banana peel.
No, you're fucking lying, and you're just trying to gaslight us.
No, it's true! Imagine! Like, do you think that the tone of this run would be that dramatically different if Miss Marvel died by slipping on a banana peel?
I think more people would be offended by the book if that happens, you know? Instead of respecting the fact that she at least died with some dignity, now she's in some stranger's fucking arms. Like, who the fuck is this guy? Like, why the
You
fuck
died in a Spider-Man book! There's no dignity!
When you send a character to die in a Spider-Man book, you have also killed their dignity as well. I'm just gonna say that.
Yeah! Like, we already did the absurd thing. Let's ramp it up, you know?
It's like, how
Out of
do you
all
go?
the ways,
Yes, there you go.
out of all the ways she could have gone out, it had to be in Spider-Man's book, where it's just like even the work that other people have been doing, like Colin Kelly and Jackson Lansing, Ryan North, like the Spider-Man book doesn't care. You know?
It's all because of you, Nick!
It's like, I want to know how the fucking creators feel. You know? That some fucking white-ass motherfucker decided to murder their fucking character in a Spider-Man book. Like,
To be fair, J. Willow Wilson is white.
yeah. Oh, yeah, she is. Yeah, she is white.
Adriana Farona, I don't think so.
I don't think he is.
Adriana
I was
Farona.
thinking Zadrina is the one that was doing it, was the one that created her, but it was Willow? I didn't know it was Willow. It's
Adriana
4 people.
Farona.
Okay. I see. Susana Amant, Willow Wilson, Adrian Alfana, and Jamie McKelvey. Okay, so those 4 fuckers created her. I want to know all 4 of their opinions on the matter because this is just an offense. This is terrible. Like, I cannot believe that they fucking did this in a Spider-Man book. It's like, we don't need to read the book to know. We already know. We got the money. We got the money shot. No need to stay.
So I heard an interesting theory about this situation.
Yeah?
Yeah.
The theory is that at some point, Cyclops of the X-Men is going to be appalled that she isn't around anymore, and he's going to use the resurrection protocols to bring her back.
Yeah.
But she's going to be a mutant, which is going to closely resemble the MCU, and they're going to give her like light powers.
Oh.
I'd be
Because
fine with her being a mutant, but why the light powers?
I think. Well, this is a theory, right?
Yeah.
The theory is.
Way worse.
Well, the theory is that it's like it's to promote synergy because the Marvels is coming out in November, and there's like a new series that's coming out around the same time, like a month before.
I
So
kind of
it's to
see
promote.
that with Marvel being about synergy with some of their shit. It makes sense, but it's so like the Marvels is coming out here shortly. And this is what they fucking do. They don't give her a solo run to promote the fucking movie. They don't do a tie-in solo. They don't do anything with the character beforehand. They fucking ask her for MCU synergy. If that's what you're thinking, I think that's dumb.
No, what it's Gil and I were talking about this, and it was pretty much they killed her so that way she could be brought back as a mutant and have those same powers in her own miniseries.
I see.
Like it's like a 5-issue mini before the movie comes out.
That is
We're just like, yeah, I could see that actually.
Yeah, I can see it too. It's so dumb though. Like,
yeah, agreed. Like, why not just have her powers mutate and have her discover, oh, I was a mutant that evolved to be like an Inhuman. Or I don't know, something like that. It would make more sense.
Honestly, I think Marvel just hates the Inhumans.
She could be a special thing. She could be a mutant human hybrid.
Yeah.
Inhuman hybrid.
Mutant Inhuman hybrid. Or like, yeah, like that is like an idea.
I honestly think this is kind of dumb of what Marvel is doing. Not gonna lie. Oh, thank God I noticed that. Fucking desktop audio. Why are you like this, OBS? Where's audio? Can one of you talk again?
Hi.
Okay, I think I caught all of it. Let me double check.
So, talking about a.
Okay, yeah, it worked. Okay, sorry about that. I saw the
what are we
audio
gonna-
thing not working, and I was like, wait, what? And then I realized, okay, it's probably working. I think we're fine.
Okay, so what are we starting this episode, or did we already start?
We like to start with the news, so let me go ahead and... Where's the news panel? Let me go ahead and share my screen. Let's see here.
This is gonna be good.
So we actually are starting off with Jed McKay.
Ooh, Jed McKay's Avengers?
We're going to be talking about the, oh boy. Yeah, whole news article.
Somebody had an interview with them over at Marvel where they got to sit down with them and discuss essentially why
What's up,
he
nobody?
did.
How's it doing, man?
Wait, what's up?
Oh, we got someone here that just hopped in the stream. So just saying hi.
Okay, hi.
Oh, might be.
Oh no, you're fine.
Yeah, they're saying this is like they got with Jed McKay to ask him like why X, Y, and Z, what was going on with the creative process. Personally, I thought it was worth discussing two things. Why Carol? And if you guys know this, her book is coming to an end the week after next, I think. Because right now she's on her 49th issue, so it's like the second to last issue.
Oh, yeah.
And this is where Carol is going to reside in for a little bit. She's going to be the leader of the Avengers for a hot minute.
Which is cool.
Yeah.
It's about damn time.
And, yeah, to be honest, I am sad that, like, we haven't got it, that we're not going to get more Kelly Thompson Captain Marvel after issue 50, but whatever.
Yeah. And then, like, I do want to talk about, like, the mission statement of the Avengers. Like, what are they in the grand scheme of the Marvel Universe, right? What do they do? So, starting off with the first thing is that Marvel.com asked Jed McKay what made Carol Danvers the right person to lead this Avengers team. And McKay follows up with, I think Carol is a character whose profile has never been higher at the moment. From the film success to the landmark 50 issue run under Kelly Thompson, she's a household name in a way that I don't think she was before, so putting her in the chair of the Avengers just makes sense. From a story perspective, I think she's a really interesting character to put in charge. She's a veteran hero, has been affiliated with the Avengers, X-Men, and other independent characters throughout her time in comics, and has even made moves in the direction of team building in her own book. But there's also a bit of square peg, round hole in that as well, as Carol often defined her as brash and eager to jump into action. That fighter pilot turn and burn mindset, which is present, makes it a challenge for her leadership role. It's actually kind of interesting that he says this, because I can see exactly where he's coming from.
Yeah, exactly. That's always been Carol's character in the comics. She's always been the one to kind of like stand against the grain when it comes to the different teams.
Yeah.
Heaven forbid people fucking remember the 70s and 80s, when she was like, I don't know exactly how to put this properly, but she was kind of like that one like real top-notch, stereotypical feminist character. It's like, I am not a woman, like that kind, or I'm not a girl. So it's
I'm
like
a woman.
Yeah, she's like, I'm not a
Ooh,
girl,
so
I'm a woman.
basically-
I'm strong, I'm powerful, I don't need a man, that kind of era.
This reminds me a lot of U6 Avengers, you know?
Yeah,
In the best ways too,
exactly.
where it's just like she's pretty much a maverick. She flies by the seat of her pants. You know what I mean? Like she's pretty much she just goes in any direction. But just judging from the book, which we'll get to by the later end of the show, it looks like she's taking to it pretty well.
Exactly.
You know?
I've
Actually, seeing this type of character lead could be very interesting, and I want to see more.
I do
Mhm.
too.
This. Yeah,
And then the
also-
second.
Yeah,
Oh,
I'll
what's
read the
up?
second
Xavier,
one.
you
There's
go.
a wonderful scene early on in the issue where Carol compares being an Avenger to working as a firefighter. How did you arrive at this moment, and how does it reflect the tone of your run? Jed McKay says, I think there's a perception... Excuse me. I think there's a perception that the Avengers are the small A authority in the Marvel Universe. The ones who come down to your favorite characters, then they're doing their thing. Something I'm as guilty of as anyone. I wanted to recenter what expectations should be for this run of Avengers and what we want to do. Avengers are saving lives, dealing with problems that are too big for anyone else to take on. I'm less interested in them hassling the X-Men and more into seeing what it means to put your lives on the line over and over again because you're the only ones that can do it.
And again, this sentiment right here is the thing that tells me, like, because when you read the book, when you read the first issue, it's just like, yeah, you get it. You really do get what they're doing. You understand why. They can exist the way that they do. And it's just like what he's doing is very good. Like he has first of all, the roster's solid, but just in terms of like the mission statement, and he compares them to firefighters. It's just like that's the most apt description you can have with them, because it's just like they show up for the big problems.
Yeah.
Right? They show up for like, Ultron, Kang, Loki, the Masters of Evil. They show up for shit like that because they have to. They deal with the impossible because that's what the Avengers do.
Yeah, and now with the Action Combine, hopefully they'll be up there, but only time will tell if, this group of villains will be as memorable as, like Kang and Ultron. I kind of hope so. That'd be kind of cool to see, like, a villain from 2023 being, like, their new memorable villains, but we'll only find out.
Yeah, and then Marvel.com asks, throughout the issue, we see Carol's reasoning behind every character she asks to join the team. Tell me a little bit about your selection process and how it was similar to different from Carol's approach. When we were putting ideas together about what we wanted the Avengers to look like, I was casting about in a few different directions. A team of lower tier characters, none of whom have had their own book, several teams rotating around a central cast. None of these seemed to quite hit the nail on the head until I realized I wanted the Avengers to feel big, as many of the names as you can think of when you think Avengers as possible, all together in the same book, a supergroup, both in the comic book sense and in the musical sense, of course. The incredible membership of the Avengers have had over the years. Not everyone could make the cut, despite how much I like Hawkeye or Ant-Man or Wasp. More than 7 characters would get to the point where I'd have trouble making sure everyone got their time in the sun, so compromises had to be made. I agree with them. I feel like the roster is perfect the way that it is.
Yeah.
I feel like it's very ballsy.
Janet stan, so I was kind of, we didn't get Janet, but what we got was really good. Like, this is a solid roster.
Yeah. This is great.
Yeah.
What do you think of the roster, Xavier?
I really like it. I am always really interested to see, like, Black Panther as an Avenger. He's, like, one of my favorites.
Yeah.
And, I like this lineup. Also, seeing Sam as Cap, pretty based,
Yeah, and him being a part of the main Avengers roster, too.
Exactly. We don't see that. Like, that's pretty fucking rare. I think Wade's Avengers was the last time we saw it. I think.
Yeah.
But, like, I I want to be fair. Like Sam as Captain America debuted like in 2014, so like that's why we haven't seen much. But still, I hope like they'll use him a lot more in the future.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he was in Hickman and Wade's, but he was in the later part of Hickman's Avengers run.
Yeah, he was
And
definitely.
then Al Ewing was actually was trying to say something with him on the Avengers.
Yeah.
So,
also the idea of an unknown of a team of Avengers comprised of unknowns, it's actually pretty good. I want to see more of that.
Yeah,
You know?
like something like All New, All Different again. Like All New, All Different was actually pretty fun. Where you had a small team of Avengers that was unknowns. I mean, you could say the same about Wade's, because even Wade's had some unknown characters at that time for Avengers, you know? Like, we got...
Wade's was All New, All Different.
Yeah, it was All New, All Different, basically, so...
So... Speaking of All Different, right, the Arrowverse is finally dead, and it's well overdue, is what CBR says. The Flash is coming to an end with its upcoming season 9, but it's not the only thing that's ending. The show's cancellation is the final nail in the coffin of the Arrowverse. The ratings and popularity of the DC TV universe have been sliding downhill for years, and the long-awaited death of the franchise now leaves room for bigger fish to bigger and better shows in its place. The height of the Arrowverse, there was half a dozen DC superhero shows on the air. The article continues to go on and pretty much just tells us, like, hey, DC and Warner Brothers kind of stepped on their toes.
Yeah.
On their own toes with the CW. And it was about time that they died anyway. But I do want to take a moment just to say, like, the CW did have the most... It felt the most DC out of all of the DC projects at the time, especially when it was at the height of its popularity during, like, 2016, where it was like, oh, yeah, no, shit like Supergirl and, like, The Flash and Arrow couldn't have been better, you know? And it's a good thing that we got these shows, because they did kind of make people... they open it up to a wider audience. You know, now people know that Supergirl's name is Kara Zor-El or Kara Zor-El, and you know the Flash Rogues Gallery is a little bit more well known than it accustomadly is. You know.
Yeah, I don't know. Honestly, I never watched any of the CW shows because I never really liked primetime TV shows to begin with, and so I never really got into it. And I can kind of see why some people did get into it, but honestly, to me, it was just a lack of interest in the material and the medium. At that time, I kind of was like in a weird spot where, especially during the height of it in 2016 when I was 18 years old, like I was kind of like coming out of my edgy phase. So it was like it wasn't what I was going to be into. And that time as well, I was kind of going into where I wasn't into comics. Like, I just got into comics as of, like, last year. So, I'm 25 now. So, it's like, there was, like, a good, I don't know, 6-7 years of my life where I didn't give a shit about comic book stuff. Like, I would watch MCU occasionally, but, you know, it's like, I didn't like the Snyderverse. I was like, I didn't like any of those movies. And so, I was just kind of like, comic book stuff is just shit. You know, comic book media is shit. And I kind of, like, have changed my opinions on that. But, you know, there's a part of me that wants to rewatch and see what the Arrowverse kind of was and see the CW shows. But I'm also kind of like, I don't think I'm going to like it. I just don't know. There's just so much to it, and it's like, I don't know if I'm going to enjoy
it. Xavier, do you have any thoughts on this?
Never watched the Arrowverse, and never looked incredibly interesting to me. I thought those were shows that existed. Maybe I'll watch Arrow just because of the season with Ra's al Ghul as a villain, and that's kind of it.
Yeah.
You know.
Does it have any chicks with wings? Because if it does, I'm going to change my mind.
I think there's Hawkgirl.
Oh no, Hawkgirl is in like a few of the shows, but she doesn't get to be. She gets to be a character, but she gets to be in The Flash primarily because she's Cisco's girlfriend.
But does she have her wings in it?
Yes.
Okay, well, I might have to watch The Flash. Please DM me the fucking episodes.
I'll find them.
Research, guys. Research.
Yeah, I get it. Your research, yeah, it's the funniest gag in this podcast.
What are you talking about? It's actual research. I'm just studying to make sure it's good.
So
Yeah. Good for what?
The research that we got going on right now with some of this DC stuff is like apparently a bunch. CW after this, CW is never doing any DC stuff again. They're not going into comic books. They're not doing it again. We're just like, ooh, yeah. That means like these shows were just like they were popular for a time, and then they just kind of like slowly just like there's rumors about them like never doing it again. We're just like, oh yeah, it's probably for the best. But this just begs the question about like where is like DC television going, and it just seems like HBO Max.
Yeah.
Like if you want something, you got to go to HBO Max or Amazon or Adult Swim now.
Exactly.
There's 3 options, but
also, that's what she looks like. Okay.
Yeah, the Arrowverse was very weird. There was like they weren't scared to like casually mention Batman, and then there eventually became
doing a Batman show.
They were scared of doing a Batman show. They didn't want to do Batman just yet, which was odd. But like, I kind of feel like that's because like Warner Brothers has like this like policy that's just like Batman's too big for television.
Yeah, it's like we had the Bat embargo back in like the early 2000s, where he could only be in select things, and his rogues could only be in select things. So you got weird shit where it's like Teen Titans. It's like, okay, clearly Batman should exist in this universe, and we're making reference to him, but we're not name dropping him. And then shit, like that.
That was fine though. I was okay with it.
Yeah, it's just like here where it's like, okay, so we have everyone in the DC universe, including characters that should have crossed paths with Batman at some point. Where the fuck is Batman?
I know, Superman especially, there was like almost no reason for Superman never to like have a one-on-one with Batman.
I mean, we had Gotham Knights, and it's like, where the fuck was
They could have done something else. They could have. Well, Batman died in that one, but it is nice to see. Yeah, he dies in like episode 1, but then like there's more interesting aspects. Like Legends was on its last leg anyway, and creatively these shows have like been losing steam, so it's almost like, yeah, I get it. You know what? You probably do need to end anyway. They tried a bunch of things. They were I would say they were pretty experimental, but it's nice to see that they're going to be over soon. I'm sad that, you know, the actors have to let go of it too, because for a long time this was like their defining trait. Not their defining trait, but like one of their defining roles that they could come back to, and it's always fun for them. But speaking of letting things go, the Marvel Universe mourns one of its biggest stars following the shocking events of Amazing Spider-Man issue 26. Fallen Friend, The Death of Miss Marvel, this July, where creators and characters alike say goodbye to the fallen hero. She's not going to stay gone for long.
No, she's not.
Yeah,
we're not going to.
I just want to say one.
We're not going to hark on this too much because we kind of joked about it at the beginning, but
yeah.
Anyways, yes, Xavier. Sorry.
Why we have to talk about a fucking Spider-Man book?
We're not going to talk about the book. I think we have a policy where we're not going to talk about Zeb Wells' book, but we're just talking about the fallout of the book. So.
Can I talk about aliens?
What's that?
Yeah, we could talk about aliens, but like for Hellions, we could talk about hell. Zeb Wells his Spider-Man book is what he meant, but for Fallen Friend, when I look at this cover, I just can't stop thinking like she only has made a relationship with 3 of these characters.
Exactly.
The other ones, she hasn't really spoken to. She doesn't really have much of a relationship with Ben or Steve.
Yeah.
Like she should, like, you know who should be on this cover? Miles.
Yep.
Be on this cover.
Miles, Nadia,
Nova.
Yep.
Right. The people who are here is a little weird. And again, the theory of her coming back right before the film is kind of like it kind of seems a little too obvious.
Yeah.
Right? It's like, no way are you guys keeping her dead. She's going to be the star of like a big shot Marvel Studios film. You guys love your synergy too much to do that.
Yeah, I just think that if they do that, that's a really dumb way to tie into to the MCU. Like, I can see why they do it, but it's like, why are you doing this? You killed a character and brought it back to give her MCU powers.
I knew, dumb. By the way, I knew. So, by the way, this is also being written by. So officially revealed by Entertainment Weekly, the character's everlasting legacy of the storyline will continue in July with a special one-shot Fallen Friend, The Death of Miss Marvel, an essential issue crafted by all-star lineup of talent, including the return of the co-creators G. Willow Wilson, the writer of Miss Marvel's last solo series, Saladin Ahmed, and Mark Waid, who not only brought Miss Marvel into the Avengers, but also wrote her central role in the team book Champions. So there's an all-star lineup writing this. I kind of trust them because they typically know how to handle her.
Yeah.
In a good way. So at least we know it's not going to be like a shit show when they're saying goodbye. But up until November, actually, up until October.
Yeah. This is not going to be good, though.
It's such a smack in the face. It really is.
It's insulting.
She didn't even die in her own book. It had to be a Spider-Man book to do it. You know? But I feel like that was like the point.
Yeah. I get it, but I honestly think that this just looks really bad for Zeb.
It's still shitty, yeah. I see why people are like, yeah, people won't like you for a little bit.
And I thought it was Mary Jane not to go to fucking conventions because it makes a lot more sense now. He's not going to have to worry about just Spider-Man fans. He's going to have to fucking worry about Miss Marvel fans.
I think
Miss Marvel fans haven't gotten to the amount of pain that Spider-Man fans have gotten through.
I think it's also it's still an extreme reaction to him. Because I kind of feel like Wells is just doing as he's told.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But, I kind of understand it a little bit more why because I thought it was Mary Jane, but I'm glad that they did the fake out. Even though I'm like, yeah, you still need to get rid of Paul, but Paul is probably going to be around for never mind. We're getting into Spider-Man territory and getting out of Spider-Man territory and into Wonder Man territory. Disney Plus's Wonder Man series will center on a Hollywood stuntman and trying to make it big in the movies. So, seems like Simon's going to be in Hollywood.
Yeah.
They kind of did say that this was the idea of his character. Well, they were like, this was the idea going into Wonder Man, is that it's supposed to be fun. And the thing is that the most fun thing about this is that this show is still not announced officially. We just know what's happening.
Yeah.
We know. Yeah. You go, Xavier.
That's a little bit that's a little tiny bit taste of our current leak culture.
Yeah.
Leaks.
We know about one thing before. Yeah, but like Wonder Man, I'm excited for Wonder Man. Vlad and I spoke about this before, but we were like, wouldn't it be cool if we got to see like lesser known Avengers villains and like Simon has to deal with them?
Yeah.
You know, like let's say like Living Laser shows up, but he's just like some dickhead with like a laser gun.
Exactly.
Literally me for real, for real.
I know a lot of people would be like, I'm a Living Laser fan. Yeah, because
that's
I
the
just
problem here with the MCU being its own adaptation, and then you get fucking fans. And I am one of those when like Hope came on, and like at first I didn't give a shit, but now that I'm a Janet fan, I see Hope, I just lose my shit and just like, this isn't the Wasp. Stop calling yourself the Wasp. So I get that side of fans, but at the same time, it's like there is no Living Laser fans. You're gaslighting yourself.
Hey, I've just become a Living Laser fan.
You're gaslighting yourself, Xavier. You're not real.
No, it's a dude with a laser gun. What is not cool about him?
But he doesn't have a laser in the comics. He is a laser. He is a little living
That's
laser.
even fucking cooler.
Oh, see, that's the thing. That's the joke. Is that a living laser stan is gonna like see the MCU give him a laser gun and just say "living laser" and be like out of the woodworks. Like, this isn't the living laser. It's like MODOK. Remember MODOK and Ant-Man and the Wasp? And when people were coming out like, that's not MODOK. You don't know anything about MODOK. And it's like,
Yeah,
to most people, MODOK is a giant fucking head.
Mhm.
Holy shit. Yeah, was that Xavier?
I always like this. Oh yeah, you go, Xavier.
That MODOK in sorry, I was saying that MODOK in Ant-Man and the Wasp wasn't the MODOK. Wasn't the MODOK Nalisa.
Yeah.
It was a work of art.
I think it's also like we got a taste of that with the Wrecking Crew, where everybody came out and was like, "Oh, I'm a Wrecking Crew. I love the Wrecking Crew," and it's just like, what?
Your favorite villain is a bunch of goobers who get their asses kicked, and the only thing that they're known for being intimidating is fucking Under Siege.
Yeah, they're goofy. They get their asses beat. That's what they do.
Like, remember in Busick's run when they're trying to find fucking Miss Marvel and they're going after Photon?
Yeah.
They collectively have one brain cell, and the 5 of them combined have 5 brain cells to work out shit. They're dumb.
Yeah, they're...
That's... this makes me understand Wrecking Crew fans. Now I'm a Wrecking Crew fan.
Yep. But with Wonder Man, I could see them doing, really cool shit in the way of like Living Laser, Atlas, Count Nefaria. They could do some really cool things, like lesser known Avengers villains, and they can just like put them into this like sort of bubble. Like it would be, I wouldn't put it past them just to be like, yeah, here's Whirlwind.
Yeah.
Okay, no, I won't be saying that I'm a Whirlwind fan because Whirlwind doesn't have fans.
No, like, everyone in the Wasp community hates Whirlwind for being a rapey stalker. So
he has more so talking about the fact that he's lame, but like, yeah, also that.
Well, yeah, he's lame and he's a rapey stalker. Why would anyone like him?
Yeah, it's not like Living Laser, who's a laser.
I could see them doing something like in the way of like Archon. Like let's say that Simon plays Archon.
Yeah.
In like a movie, in a very like meta sense. He's like Marvel's like Conan. He runs Polycamus. He's kind of he's fine.
Yeah.
Right, but he's like their Tarzan meets Conan the Barbarian. That's what he is.
Right now, I'm imagining imagine if we saw how the MCU has a giant genre that basically is dominating blockbuster cinema the way the comic movies are today in our reality. That'd be pretty interesting.
Yeah, I think it'd be kind of cool here with the idea of him being a stuntman and actor trying to make it big. I could see them bringing in my girl Songbird. She could be like a singer or songwriter or something, has something going on. They could do it that way.
Oh,
They could. Oh,
Also-
that's a really good idea.
just, I have an idea.
Yeah.
Let me cook.
I don't know about that. You're Italian.
Simon is dating Dazzler. And
That would be cool.
That would.
wants to date Dazzler, so they're in a love triangle. Dazzler cheats on both of them. They become bros. Dazzler does a song calling both of them assholes. It's basically a Taylor Swift parody. It writes itself.
You could do that. That would be that'd be funny.
That would
I do think another thing that's pretty funny is the House of the Dragon writer Elaine Chim joins the Vision Quest, and we don't know how this is going to pan out after the whole writer strike, but it is nice to see that Vision Quest is getting some sort of development. Personally, I've always thought Vision Quest is just going to be, they're using the name from the West Coast Avengers book because they kind of did the story in WandaVision,
Yeah.
right?
Just asking.
Or they use the imagery. But what were you saying?
Has anyone here seen House of the Dragon?
I have.
I have not.
Yeah?
No, none of us have seen it.
I haven't seen it either. I should get onto that. Oh my god, we're talking about Immortal Thor! Yippee!
Happy.
Right, we're gonna get to that, but we're still talking about Vision Quest.
Yeah.
Vision Quest is going to be pretty tight. I keep thinking that they're going to take from Tom King's run, but just use the West Coast Avengers thing because they use the imagery from Avengers West Coast. There's rumors that Viv is going to be in this show. You guys know who Viv Vision is, though, right?
Yeah, I do. That's his daughter.
The lesbian daughter of the Vision.
What lesbian daughters? That for real? Or are you joking?
No, I think for real.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I think
if
they
I
have
remember
her
correctly,
female
I think she is.
Yeah,
I did not know that. I just every time I see Viv, I'm like, oh well, I guess she's cool. She's just the Vision's daughter that he's really stern with. I'm pretty excited for Vision Quest. What about you guys?
I'm interested in it.
Sounds like a neat show. Once I get more information, I could see myself getting excited.
Excited, just like we all are for Immortal Thor.
They better
Yes.
bring Jane Foster as Valkyrie. That's all I'm saying. My girl with wings needs to be here.
So, we had just had the Immortal Hulk. Now we're having the Immortal Thor. Next, might be the Immortal Silver Surfer. Because
Immortal. We need the Immortal Iron Man because
The Immortal
I'm
Wasp.
doing compare the Immortal Wasp,
You get the Immortal
Okay,
Wasp, and it's Nadia.
Immortal Captain America.
Immortal.
We keep freezing this motherfucker in ice, and he will die. This man's immortal. That's just
Yeah,
the
but
point. He's just getting frozen over and over again.
Yeah, but so Ewing compared Immortal Hulk to the Old Testament and Immortal Thor to the New Testament. Can I have this hypothetical third Immortal series be the New Testament? And there's Janet recruiting 6 Avengers because we need 18 Avengers because Jarvis likes football and Iron Man
Yeah.
is alcohol asshole in this. Because
See,
we
the
need
thing is-
someone sorry for referencing a French film that no one has seen here outside of me, but whatever.
No, it's okay. I kind of like the sound of the series. The series launching this August will focus on Thor as the Allfather of Asgard, mastering his abilities and facing off against the newly emerged Elder Gods.
This is gonna
I am invested. Yeah, I'm invested. I've missed out on Immortal Hulk, and I'm catching up on it. And wow, it's a really good ride from beginning to end. And a lot of
Yes.
people are saying well, the ending sucks, and it's just I don't care. This is really fucking good. For Immortal
Yeah,
Thor,
also, the ending doesn't suck. Like, if you think the ending sucked, you don't know what to expect from comics. If the ending of Immortal Hulk, can I spoil? Can I spoil for a bit?
yeah, I don't care. Yeah, I don't care. I'm down.
It's Bruce making peace with himself. It's that.
Dude, that sounds good.
It does.
Yeah, it's like this beautiful thing about Bruce making peace with himself and his personas and his life. It's not like Donny Cates' Venom, which I feel like Immortal Hulk and Donny Cates' Venom can be compared in a lot of ways. Like, they're kind of similar in premise.
They were the two best books, yeah.
Yeah, like Donny Cates' Venom is more so the blockbuster version of what Immortal Hulk tries to do, because it's also a story about fatherhood and about identity and abusive figures. But where Donny Cates' Venom does the blockbuster approach of the father being evil and the dude having a kid, whatever, Immortal Hulk does the auteur approach. Like, it's not a physical fight, it's a mental fight, it's an emotional fight. And that makes the book good. That makes the book work.
Yeah.
That's kind of my take on
it. And that's why I'm really excited for what he's going to do with Thor. Right?
Yeah.
I should have been reading Cates' Thor and Ewing's Hulk because, again, wow. I read the first 6 issues of Cates' Thor, and I was just like, this is great. Now, the All-Father Thor is going to be active. I have heard things like Thor is not going to be active on McKay's Avengers for much longer. I don't know how true that is because it seems like he's actually sticking around in that book. But I guess it's just the annual for Contest of Chaos was seen, and it's got like 2 Captain Americas, and Thor is nowhere to be seen.
I see.
So it's like people are saying Al Ewing may have got his way and managed to pull Thor from Avengers.
Which is pretty based, having like a Thor title separated from everything.
I guess, but McKay, in the way of what McKay was going to do with Thor and what he's doing with Thor, I dig it.
Yeah.
Which, again, we're going to talk about that later. We're going to really talk about that later.
It would be cool. I mean, I just like Jane Foster as Valkyrie, and she has not got enough love, so... Someone needs to use her. Because Aaron fucking wasted the character. Absolutely wasted her. So...
Aaron did waste her, yeah.
Either Immortal Thor or maybe on McKay's Avengers, Thor gets caught up with Asgard and shit, and then they replace his role with Jane Foster as Valkyrie. That would be cool.
Yeah. That would be pretty tight. And
I just want a chick with wings on the Avengers. Okay, that's all I want, and I'm horny, so.
I feel that. For our second to last topic, we've got Across the Spider-Verse will have a cliffhanger ending. Yeah, I saw this coming.
Yep. They can't let it go without a fucking... They're just having to do it that way.
The thing I hope everybody remembers, they keep the same energy when they are criticizing the MCU. Where they're like, oh, it feels like it's just getting ready for the sequel. This is what this movie looks like.
Yeah.
Which, getting ready for the sequel isn't just how part 1 and 2's work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, seriously, it's not an MCU problem, quote unquote. It's a thing that they've done since Empire Strikes Back.
This is what he said.
Pirates of the Caribbean.
Joaquim Dos Santos says that I was very satisfied after The Empire Strikes Back, and hopefully this is our Empire Strikes Back. And it's just like, well, I mean, your movie's coming out next month. I think they used up all of their jokes and all of the money shots, of all the spider people chasing them around. to where and they're like, oh yeah, Ben Reilly's in here, and they even spoiled that. They were like, oh yeah, he's voiced by Andy Samberg, and it's just like, okay, so it's just like a wait and see sort of thing. But you know, you could have surprised us.
Yeah, like that's my problem with this and the Spider-Verse stuff in general is it's just becoming a who's who for Spider-Folk. It's very frustrating too because it's like a lot of this are focusing on the stuff people want to see, you know, like the money shots and all that. And we're not really getting too much out of it, you know? We're not getting any value out of it. And
well, we don't. Yeah, we don't. The only character we're familiar with, we do not know what Miguel O'Hara. We don't know what his problem is, but we know that Miles feels as though his destiny is being decided by other people. That's something that keeps coming up in the trailers, to where it's like, yeah, I get it. That's an interesting premise. Where it's just like, you're Spider-Man, it has to go like this, and it's just like, oh, okay.
Maybe it could be used to parallel. Maybe it could be used to parallel both Miles's non-superhero life and his superhero life. Like,
yeah, could be.
To me, another issue with it is, why are we revealing the fact that it's a cliffhanger? The point of a cliffhanger is you don't expect it, you don't see it coming, and then you're like, oh man, there's more. Like,
well, this is typical Sony for you, dude. They do stuff like that. They just they ruin the surprise for you.
Like that's playing it too safe.
They ruin. They do this shit all the time. They will ruin surprises for people. Like they did it for Amazing Spider-Man 2, where the Electro fight in that movie was spoiled in the trailers. Like they ruined it. I was like, oh man, there's gonna be a cooler scene, no doubt. Nope.
Yeah.
None. Even the Rhino fight, they spoiled it. They spoiled everything that was cool about that movie. Like they showed too much of the film. And this is, I have a feeling they did the same thing with Across the Spider-Verse, because we're going to go see it. And I swear there's going to be a moment in this movie to where I'm like, yeah, the trailer showed us everything that we needed to see.
They showed us the Spider-Man pointing meme. Like, that would have been perfect to leave out of the trailer. That would be the perfect joke. And now everyone's just going to be like, hey, it's that scene from the trailer. They're not going to be like, hey, it's that meme. That's funny. They're going to be pointing to that like, I remember that in the trailer. That is like the dumbest way to make your movie. Like, that is so dumb.
Yeah. Well, that's the dumbest way to promote it.
You know, you're talking about Sony. You're not talking about a competent company. They're the same people.
Wow. Fucking burn him. Get him, Xavier. Get his ass.
Yeah, like imagine
Get their ass.
Like making Spider-Man movies without Spider-Man. You think it's a good idea? No. Like do I like the Venom movies? Yeah. Do I think it was a good idea to make them? No.
I agree with everything you just said. And I do think this is I do think that this is a really big problem for this movie, and it's got me more and more concerned every time I think about it. Because the first Spider-Verse, they managed to keep something. They put in fake scenes right in the first for the first trailer. Like when you watch the first trailer, there's scenes in the first trailer that don't make it into the final part of the movie.
That's false advertisement.
Right? No, that's good. I'm okay with that. Where it's just like, oh, there's going to be a scene where like Peter and Miles are talking in the subway. Nope. That never happens. Right? And it's like, good.
I don't know about that. I feel like if you show it in the trailer, it needs to be in the movie. That's how I've always seen it. You're just giving people false expectations.
Or just don't show it at all.
Yeah,
like Across the Spider-Verse. You know? Like
Across the Spider-Verse, none of the spider people that they showed in the fucking trailers actually there. That would be hilarious. Oh my god.
I think it would be funny if, like, the spider people that they do expect to talk don't get speaking lines. But we know that
Outside of
there's
the
probably Josh Keaton deserves to come back to that role. Outside of Josh Keaton, I don't. He needs to be there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I wouldn't mind seeing him, but I'm also of the mind where it's just like if he doesn't show up, it doesn't take anything away from the movie.
Me too.
You know, like if he doesn't if he doesn't have a speaking role, fine. But if he does, that's great. I am calling it now, he probably doesn't. He's probably like an Easter egg, blink and you'll miss it situation.
Yeah.
Right. And speaking of our last topic, Jeff Loveness is reportedly no longer going to write the Avengers Kang Dynasty.
Yeah.
I think Jeff Loveness just did Ant-Man.
Okay. How's Jeff Loveness's writing in movies?
Let me look at his filmography because apparently he has
Oh shit.
he has the Avengers Kang Dynasty. Well, he more Dinner Rick Andre, the Tutor superhero. Yeah, he doesn't have a lot under his belt. He used to write for Jimmy Kimmel.
Yeah.
He wrote The Office. He wrote one episode.
Okay, so he wrote on Rick and Morty, Miracle Workers, Dark Ages, Jimmy Kimmel.
Miracle Worker, yeah. So he's fine, I guess. But yeah, he's no longer on Kang Dynasty. Apparently, the rumor is that he's being replaced with Zeb Wells.
Oh wow! Oh no! Oh no! Oh no!
It's like a rumor.
You know what I think would be way better? Have Dennis Hopeless be the replacement.
Just have a monkey on cocaine would be better.
That would be better. But then, like, you know, we're like 3 years. No, we're like 2 years away from this movie, so it's just like they'll figure something out.
Who would you rather have, Jason Aaron or Zeb Wells?
I don't know.
You have to choose one. There is no I don't know. I have a gun to your head, and you must answer.
Can I just go and explain bit by bit why it's a difficult choice?
No, I need an answer. I need to know. Fucking Jason Aaron or
I'd
Zeb
rather
Wells.
take Zeb Wells, because with Zeb Wells, at least. Yeah. I don't know if he's actually writing it. That was like a rumor.
I would take Jason Aaron because I know it's going to be one coked up hell of a ride. Like, it's going to be ass. It's going to be shit. But it's going to be like...
I'm going to say Jason Aaron too. Just because I feel like Jason Aaron can write good stuff sometimes.
Yeah. To me, it's going to be like watching a fucking train crash while high on like methamphetamine and LSD. So.
But hopefully they announce like the writer like next year. Yeah. You know, like I kind of hope that they do that. And that seems to be all of our topics. We seem to have covered everything, and now we're off to our Avengers. Now we're off Super Talk. McKay Avengers Super Talk.
Jed Avengers.
All right, so we're just gonna go around, starting with you, Xavier. What were your thoughts?
So, I am not as big of an Avengers guy as Vlad or MCU Man are, but I personally really, really enjoyed this issue. Like, I personally really liked it. I was really happy reading it. To be honest, I don't have much to say about the plot, because it's an issue. it's like a chapter. We don't have that much on plot. We have kind of an introduction to the characters and I guess the world. But that introduction really stuck. Really feels like they're really feels like McKay is saying, "Okay, guys, these are the Avengers, and this is gonna be a ride." And personally, I'd say the characters were spot on. I really liked all of them, and it was like really fun to see.
Right
I
on.
personally just think it's great, mostly because of the character interaction so far. So overall, thumbs up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I have about the same. I really appreciated being Captain Marvel because it's about time that she got a chance to shine.
Yeah, she's front and center.
Yeah, I really there's like that moment when she starts talking to like Tony about who they want. I also like how it's interspersed between the main like I guess the main villain of the issue for right now being oh god, what the fuck is he even called? Oh, can't remember.
Terminus.
Yeah, Terminus. Where they're like going between, you know, a Terminus and they're like going back to Carol making her choices. I really liked.
Who's Terminus? I don't remember. The biblically accurate angel, Mystique, the Hunchback. or
No,
the
no,
zombie?
no, no. It's the giant robot.
Terminus, Terminus the scavenger.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's the giant robot that's like rampaging, trying to get to a black hole nuclear reactor or some shit.
That's what it was.
But I really like. There's like a bunch of good moments that I really appreciate. There's a scene where Iron Man is saying that you're ready to be policing the world again, and Carol's just like, no, we're not cops, we're firefighters. That was amazing. That's like on point, and I really like it coming from Captain Marvel of all characters, because you know she used to be that hot-headed, you know, fighter pilot, you know, so it makes sense that it's coming from her. There's like a lot of good moments. I'm actually flipping through the comic right now.
I feel that too.
Yeah, there's one moment where she's talking to Sam Wilson and Steve Rogers, and it's just the funniest thing ever. She's just like, love
That
to
is
see
my.
it. She's like, love to see it. Hey Cap, and hey Cap, hi there Cap. That's just too funny to me. They're just constantly calling each other Cap, and it's just fucking hilarious.
They go in a circle calling each other Cap.
Yeah.
I think, yeah.
They're just capturing each other off.
They just Cap. Sure.
One of the things that I really do enjoy in this is just the way that they're gonna have to, like, the team is gonna have to evolve with one another. Like, none of the Captain Americas, like neither one of them are on good terms with T'Challa.
Yeah.
Right. But even Captain Marvel kind of talks Black Panther into joining. I even like the Vision coming to the realization that it's just like what she says to him is just like, I'm not asking you to join to prove yourself. I'm asking you to join because you already have.
Yeah.
I know you're a man. Yeah.
I really like that moment. Bringing up Judgment Day. That was so cool. That was a really cool moment from Vision, and it's kind of deep.
I love how this team's gonna have to like learn to work together. Like when Sam is talking to T'Challa, and he's just like, "Thanks, Falcon," and he's just like, "It's Captain America."
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought that was cool. He was like, "We're Avengers, and I got your back, but my name is Captain America. It's not Sam. It's not Falcon. It's Captain America." Right.
Well, technically. Oh, okay. Just wanted to do a little joke there. Like, technically, Sam is like his actual name. Like, yeah, he's Captain America.
Oh god.
It's pretty tight.
I find it kind of interesting that I really did like the ending, but it's kind of like fucking Kang the Conqueror again. Like, I'm not complaining, but it's like, holy fuck. This is a year of the Conqueror for some reason.
Kang being where he's supposed to be makes sense.
Yeah, it
You
does
know,
make
like,
sense.
and it's especially with the Free Comic Book Day issue going on right now. Well, the one that just happened, no, it was Timeless, right? You guys remember what I'm talking about, where Kang's looking for that lost moment in time, and he's got to go
Yeah.
through the tribulation events, and it's got to be like he's chosen his champions, and they're the Avengers, and it's just like, yes, let's go. This
Yep.
is where I'm like, this book is coming together, and I love what I'm seeing so far. I kind of hope like McKay gets out, like, I hope he's got like at least 75 issues planned for this.
Yeah.
At least. Well, at most 75, at least 53 issues.
Yeah.
I would take either or, but I really want his book just to be like top shelf Avengers shit, because it's so good. I love the choices that he's made for the team. I like Carol's like reasoning, especially with Captain America, where it's just like, you're a war hero living legend from like the 40s that is the best tactician on the planet. Could we use you? Yes, but we need a normal guy. We need somebody who's grounded, and that's Sam.
Yeah.
And it's just like, that makes sense. Yes, I can accept it, and I really love the way that everything's happening, the way that these things are going about happening. I feel bad for Hawkeye and Janet because they haven't been Avengers since a while.
Oh my god, it has been. Holy
Janet
shit.
has been part of the Avengers in like 2016.
Yeah, they haven't been neither Janet or Clint have been around for a while.
Yeah,
And
what was Janet's last time? Janet was Uncanny Avengers?
Janet was Uncanny.
That's a long time ago.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm really hoping that for whatever reason McKay kind of pulls a sneaky one and he's just like, yeah, Hank's back. Right? I hope he does some shit like that, but because Alec Ewing's like the muscle of the group, he's the big guns. He's saying, no, he's dead. Leave him that way.
Yeah.
I just want to see them fight Ultron one more time.
Yeah.
Where it's like it's been a while since we got to see the Avengers like go toe to toe with Ultron again. Like since 2015, it's been 7 years. Give.
I get that, but at the same time, it's like, I could also say it's like we need to have this or this back in, because it's been so long. So it's like,
it's been 8 years. Yeah.
But I mean, to me, it's like, I like the roster. I think the roster's perfect. Just me being a giant Janet shill, I would much rather have her on the team. But I get what he's doing. I get the choices. I think this is a perfect lineup.
I think the action is also top notch. Like where they're fighting all of those like nanite like tigers and shit like that. That was so cool.
Yeah.
Especially the reactor. Carol is so funny. Where like T'Challa's just like, I got good news and bad news. It's like, all right, so what's the good news? That was a trick. I don't have any good news.
I love
so
that.
We're telling jokes now. And then
T'Challa telling jokes is weird.
Yeah, and then it's just like they just hear thunder roaring, and it's just like, what was that? It's like, oh yeah, Thor just woke up.
Yeah,
literally me.
They kick the shit out of Terminus, and it's just like, what a really strong first issue. You're giving us a chance to meet this team. I am kind of excited to see what they have in store for like a new base of operations.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem like we're going to get one anytime soon. Right? But solid stuff.
Giant, that's Celestial, I think, is pretty good as a base.
Oh, that thing's gone.
Yeah.
No!
Yeah, it's that thing.
The giant, that's Celestial!
That thing, like, up and walked away. It was just like, bye.
Yeah.
No! I could have not cared for anything in this cruel world.
I just want to bring this up.
Giant Dead Celestial! No!
I just want to bring this up. The place that they're meeting at, the Avengers, that is a fun reference to UX Wasp, because at the end of the book, Janet's like, we're going to call it the Jarvis Lounge. And the fucking Avengers in this book are meeting in the fucking Jarvis Lounge. I love that.
Yeah, like her and Tony are just like talking. I even love the reaction with Tony where she's like, "You're my sponsor. You help me get sober." And it's just like another based reference to Busick's era on Avengers and Iron Man. Let's fucking go.
Yep.
What our Busick's era reference without our giant dead celestial?
Without our giant dead celestial, like Busick's Avengers, I love how influential it still is today, but I love how people are willing to, like, get creative.
Yeah.
And remember that characterization when they're being creative. And it's just like, good, that's what we need more of.
Yeah,
right?
Busick's Run is like the perfect entry point Avengers book. I'm not saying this is the bad way.
It's the best place to start, and it's also the best place it's the best place to start, and it's the best place for you to like really get to know the Avengers. Like, even if you kind of like read something beforehand, like maybe you've read Stern, or you've read like Lee, Kirby, Heck, and Thomas's Avengers, you can hop right into Busick's Avengers, and they fill you in on the way. The other thing I really want to talk about in terms of this issue is just like, wow, Kang showing up, and it's taking place directly after that Free Comic Book Day issue, and it's just like, yes, so much yes right now.
I still need to read Timeless, but sounds cool. Sounds really cool. And you know that Kang is like my favorite Avengers villain.
Ultron is mine, but I can see Kang is my second favorite Avengers villain.
I really like Kang, but I also
Kang is Kang is so cool. Like, it's like this time-traveling dude. He's like, it has a dope-ass aesthetic that looks like a Smurf. Has a weird timeline, created a young Avengers, pretty base stuff.
Pretty based, yeah. I think he's really cool. And speaking of more Avengers stuff, we're going to move on to some of our comics.
Ooh.
Oh, I haven't read much. I picked up a bunch of comics. I need to get around to reading them. My just crippling ADHD has not had time to read them. But I have read McKay's Avengers, and it was worth it. I have... I don't know who the publisher is, but it's like DV8. I picked that up from Mystery Box, and I'm interested in reading it.
Tell us about the plot.
I haven't read it. I have it. I need to read it. But the Mystery Box came with like 3 issues, like an arc, basically. So I was like, okay, that's cool. I have an arc. So when I read it, I'll definitely talk about it, I hope, next week. Because it looks interesting. It's kind of cool. I have Guardians I need to read. I have Aliens I need to read. So yeah, I do have
the Aliens
edition. So I have issue of the Avengers. I read that. It's,
I do 60s. Have a... Oh, cool.
What about you, Xavier? What have you read?
So personally, I've not been I've not read a lot recently because I've been in a very busy time of my life. Fortunately, now I have more free time. I can read more books. So I finally finished the Asgardian Wars X-Men saga, which is like 2 storylines. One is The Gift, which is an Alpha Flight crossover. The other one is the actual Asgardian Wars, which is like an X-Men and New Mutants crossover. Also, I've been reading Radiant Black, and I've been reading Colin Bond's Magneto, which is pretty awesome, and I'd love to talk more about it, because really, I'd say it's one of the absolute best things ever made about Magneto. I feel like it's more of an anti-hero series than like a lot of anti-hero books that I've ever seen in my life. Like, it's genuinely just the story of this dude who's hunted down by Shield and is trying to be kind of an avenger for mutant rights. It's like so cool. And it feels a lot more detective and a lot more introspective than the average Marvel book. And it's awesome. It's really, really good. I may be biased because I'm a huge Magneto fan, but this is a definite must read if you like really introspective comic books and comics that kind of challenge your idea of what a superhero comic book can be. I don't feel in a very deep way, but like as more of a introspective and slow series than the average. Any questions?
What's the plot?
Any questions?
What's the plot?
No questions.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Well,
Yeah.
What's the plot?
Yeah, I was wondering what's the plot about.
Oh, it's Magneto investigating stuff about mutants while also being hunted down by S.H.I.E.L.D. because he's basically a terrorist.
That makes sense.
That's kind of weird. Yeah.
Huh.
It's really simple, but like, it's a lot like a detective series in that way.
Yeah.
It's also framed like that, with Magneto monologuing all the time. It's probably the closest thing we've ever gotten to our truly Claremontian X-Men book, because like half of the issue is just Magneto thinking, and then thinking, and thinking.
Yeah, that is kind of cool. I think that is like an acquired taste to some people, but that does sound really cool.
Yeah, wordy, like verbose comic books are an acquired taste, but like once you get into them, it's pretty hard to not love them. At least for me. Like, I'm a huge Claremont fan for a reason, and I'm a huge Busiek fan for the same reason.
Yeah.
Because Claremont and Busiek are basically the same people. Like, one of them is like really interested in making novels. The other one is really interested in making comics.
Yeah,
And I don't say this how I see that. Like, Claremont like viewed like his time on X-Men as like a way to tell interconnected stories with heavy themes and with like this huge book novel like narrative that spans years and years and years. Well, Busiek, I don't want to say he didn't do any of that, because there is some really interesting stuff thematically. But I feel like Busiek was more so trying to homage the things he read as a kid.
Yeah, I can see that.
And yeah, while also doing his own big comic book spectacle. And I can honestly respect and love both of these works because they're incredible. Speaking of Claremont, Asgardian Wars is also a really good book. Both the gift and the actual Asgardian Wars storyline.
Dope.
Yeah. Have you read Asgardian Wars, MCU man?
I have not. I've heard of it, but I have not read Asgardian Wars. I'll tell you what I have read, though. I've been catching up with Nick Spencer and Jonathan Hickman's Avengers World.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, this shit is cool. So AIM is getting secrets from the future. Like technological advancements in the future. And giving it to their past selves. So that way they can prevent something from happening.
Okay, sounds really good.
But they're like total dicks, and then it's just like the next Avengers Heroes of Tomorrow. Like the son of Steve Rogers and Black Widow goes back in time.
Yeah.
With like those their kids. Like Henry Pym Jr. is amongst them.
Based.
Right, and then they go back in time and they kick the shit out of like Maria Hill and her like shield agents, like her best shield agent, and then they're just like, oh shit, yeah, we're gonna go and like go to AIM Island, and they beat Graviton and run away. It's just like, yes, Cannonball and Sunspot are breakouts in this book too.
Right.
Really good shit. Untold Tales of Spider-Man. It's another one I very much enjoyed. That one is really good. I really like the Batwing Lizard issue, where it's just like in order to snap Doc Connors out of being the lizard, Batwing reminds him that he's a child. And it's just like, it's one of Peter's most dangerous fights, but he's just like, I could really make a lot of money off of just exposing the lizard. But I'm not going to do that to him because he just helped me out and he's helping out some other kid.
Untold Tales of Spider-Man is so good.
It's also thoughtful. It's another thing that Busick does right, you know? Really good stuff. And the last book that I've read this week was Titans.
Oh, how was
Ooh,
that?
I've read it also. I've also read it too. The new Titans series.
What'd you think, Xavier?
It's good. It's like a really good introduction issue. Like, it kind of deals with the new status quo of the Dawn of DC, with Peacemaker as kind of the stand-in for the military. I think this is weird because I'm not that into DC, so I don't know if like this makes sense for Peacemaker or like what is happening. But
it does track.
Yeah. But like, yeah, it was solid. I liked the characterization of all the characters in the book. I feel like the murder mystery with Wally, can I say it?
Yeah.
The murder mystery with Wally West is like really, really neat. And overall, to me, it's a recommendation. Like, this book is shaping up to be really fun.
When did this come out?
Yeah. This came out recently, yeah. DC Comics come out Tuesday. Marvel Comics come out Wednesday.
Okay, was it like last week or the week before? Because I might need to go in my comic book shop so I can find it.
This was like last week.
Okay, I'll definitely stop by my comic book shop and see if I can pick it up. This is the one where they make Raven look like she has wings, right? This is the one.
This is I'm gonna be honest with you. I agree with you with the Tom Taylorisms of the book, where it's just like but I feel like it makes more sense in the grand scheme of Titans, where it's just like, we're not our predecessors. We're gonna handle this differently. There's no need to be antagonistic towards one another. But killing Wally is fucking stupid. I don't even think he's dead. I think a future version of him is dead, and that's why he's still on the team.
Yeah.
I think they killed a future version of him, because I think that's what's going to happen with Wally. Right? Peacemaker being a part of this is like, yep, the magic of having a HBO Max show. You get to be everywhere now. Good for you. Right, and this is peak.
Good for you, Peacemaker. Are you healthy and happy?
This is really good for them. This is really good for them too, because this lineup is like the best of the best. This is like the who's who of Titans. Like, the people. This is the roster people care about when it comes to Titans, and it's just like, yes, let's go. This is what we want. Titans Tower looks incredible.
Is it still a giant T?
It's still a giant T, yeah. Okay. But now it's in Bloodhaven.
Why would you complain about that?
I'm not complaining. I'm making sure it's accurate, okay? That's the only thing that matters.
Accurate or what?
It has to be a giant T. It has to be. If it's not a giant T, we have a fucking problem, okay?
Yeah. Like, how else would you have Titan's Tower?
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. It has to be a T.
Yeah.
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 There are some aspect, like Raven and Beast Boy are in their relationships on Front Street in this book too. They're not shy about being like, yeah, they're together.
And it's honestly pretty cute, you know? Like,
they're very clear on things, and it's nice of Tom Taylor not to do his Twitter writing where he has the character look at the camera and say, "This is why we're better than you." Like, he doesn't have to tear anybody down. He's just like, "Yeah, we're not the Justice League. We do things differently, okay? There's no need to be antagonistic. I'm in charge." And it's just like, "Oh, okay, cool. Then fine, fuck you then." And it's just like, "Oh, yeah." And then what was it? Peacemaker's just like, "Yeah, Waller, they're not going to work with us." After they just said that they're going to work with you.
10 out of 10. Incredible writing. Tom Taylor never disappoints us.
Tom Taylor at the helm. Incredible.
I'll have to check it out so I can have my own opinions on it, but it sounds interesting.
It's a really good introduction to Titans. I'm even going to pick up World's Finest Teen Titans. I'm more excited for that than I am for this, but Taylor's Titans already off to a great start.
I am going to start World's Finest just to get into the Titans stuff, because I haven't got around to it. Also, speaking of good teen books, has anyone here read Guardians of the Galaxy?
I have it, but I haven't read it. I have to. It looks good. It's sitting literally right next to me, but I haven't.
The current run by Colleen Kelly and Jackson Lansing is really good, I'd say. It's really fun, has a really interesting vibe. I wish they've continued Al Ewing's themes, but whatever. Life happens, and honestly, it's so far it's becoming slowly one of the series I'm more interested to pick up.
Yeah.
Like it's
really solid. It's solid. I do think that we could do more in the way of more DC stuff for the titles. Like, I can't wait for the day that we do get another Justice League book, but as it stands now, it's fine.
Yeah.
Like Dawn of DC is good the way that it is. And that seems to be all the books I've read.
Yeah, and I still need to get around to talk about like one more book.
Okay.
I haven't to talk, which is Asgardia Wars. Because I've only mentioned the book. So, this book is pretty much two stories. One is The Gift, which is basically Scott Summers and his ex-wife, and his wife, at the time, Madeline Pryor, and like a bunch of other X-Men, just go in like this magical place, and their life becomes perfect. Like, their flaws don't exist, but it's all just a trick by Loki, because Loki didn't need to gift like some things to just be considered a decent human being by the Council of Asgardian gods, and they fight. Like, Rogue is the main character of this, basically, and it's really nice. Paul Smith carries the book with the art. It's like so good. It's so clean. Like, you can really feel like the art. And the second story, which is the actual Asgardian Wars storyline, which you could also call Home Sweet Home, it's Loki wanting to kidnap Storm, and they kidnap her, and they kidnap also the entirety of the New Mutants, and they have to get back home. And this is a lot more action-packed and a lot more insane. I actually prefer the second half to the first one. So any questions?
Is Jane Foster as Valkyrie there?
No.
Fuck.
There's Stormcaster. Also, just want to say, it's like really weird to see Alpha Flight as someone who's not read Alpha Flight in that X-Men crossover. Because, so, imagine, you're reading your X-Men book, and you get this shaman dude, North Star, which is the only character you know, a Canadian Captain America, North Star as a girl with multiple personalities, Sasquatch! What the fuck? And you're left thinking, God, I really should read Alpha Flight.
Yeah.
In this sense, is the second part to me showcases the New Mutants way better. Because it's not like you want to read more New Mutants after reading Asgardian Wars because you didn't understand their personalities. But you want to read more New Mutants after Asgardian Wars because, my God, it's good New Mutants. You get to like all of them, and it's like super cool. Even Cannonball you get to like. Like Cannonball, of all people.
So is there a chick with wings? Because if there's not a chick with wings, we know how my rating system works here.
No.
So it's a 0 to 10. I'm sorry, Xavier. I don't make the rules.
See, man, do you have any questions?
Alex!
Is he alive?
What's up?
Do you have any questions about his Guardian Wars?
No.
Oh, okay. So I think we can end this episode here.
I think so. And we're ending it with everyone here. That's the first.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
So this was a good episode. See you later. See you next week, guys. I hope y'all have a wonderful time.
Hey, you guys have a good day.
exactly. We'll definitely be live next Sunday at 1 p.m. See y'all later.